Samantha from the Maya's Nest, and I'm here for another episode of Ask the Doulas. This week I'm answering a question that we received on our Facebook page from Jill, where she asked us why she should bother writing a birth plan. Birth plans are definitely one of our favorite things to do. We actually tend to call them birth preferences because I feel that's a little more realistic to what it actually is. Part of what we do with our clients is the first prenatal. We spend a ton of time discussing all the different options and the risks and benefits associated with the very many choices that are available to you at your birth, so that you can really make an informed choice about how you'd ideally like your birth to go. Birth plans tend to get a bit of a bad rap because I understand that births are unpredictable. However, I like comparing it to weddings. For example, if you were planning a beautiful outdoor summer wedding and then you ended up with a June like we had, a very wet one in Vancouver, then all of a sudden that outdoor wedding's not happening. Just because that happens doesn't mean that you just sort of go, oh, I don't care what happens to the rest of my wedding, right? No, you move in, have a beautiful indoor ceremony, and then you get everything else that you still wanted, your flowers, your cake, your DJ, everything that you've been preparing for the whole year. And it can kind of be similar with birth, right? Just because one thing goes off the original or the sort of dream scenario doesn't mean that all the other things that were important to you get thrown out the window. Okay, so birth plans are important to do because for a number of reasons. Firstly, it opens up the lines of communication between you and your partner, if you have one. It's really important that you both really have a good understanding of what's important to both of you, so that you can come up with a plan and you know that you're all on the same page. So that if things do come up in birth where choices have to be made, then the mom or the woman can sort of concentrate on that, and the dad or other mom can ask all those questions that he knows is important to his partner. And then they can discuss together and decide how to proceed. Next up, it's a great chance for you and your care provider to discuss what you're hoping for and the type of birth that you would like. Oftentimes, you'll get really great reception from your care provider, and they'll be like super positive about everything, but sometimes you'll realize that maybe that care provider is not the best fit for you, and this gives you a chance to sort of reassess whether you'd like to stay with them or try to see if you can find a care provider that's better suited for the type of birth that you're hoping for. Next up, it also lets you know all of your options. If your options aren't presented to you, then you don't have any. And sometimes doing the work prenatally makes sure that you are very aware of what is possible, so that if things do come up in the birth that are maybe off from your original plan, you'll already have a bit of a background knowledge on it. Lastly, it also prepares for what if. So with our clients, when we do our prenatal, we don't just discuss their ideal birth, we also discuss if things are needed. Like, for example, if you end up in surgery, just because you give birth via cesarean doesn't mean that you can't ask for things still, right? So things like skin to skin or breastfeeding in the OR, these are things that you can add to your birth plan. And if you hadn't done the research beforehand and hadn't prepared beforehand, then you wouldn't be prepared to ask for those things, right? And if you don't ask for something, then it may not happen at all. So definitely ask. So hopefully that helps you, Jill, and you go on to write a birth plan that's perfect for you and your family. Next week we will be answering another question. And if you have any questions that you'd like to send in, please go ahead to our Facebook page. It's right on the pinned post where you can ask your questions, or if you would prefer to stay anonymous, just send us a private message either on Facebook, on Instagram, or on our website, themayasnest.com. Thanks.